Welcome to an episode of the Movie Outlaw Podcast, sponsored by Stream Media. This show is sponsored by Stream Studio. If you want to start your own podcast, you do it with Stream Studio. Stream Studio is an easy platform to create a podcast. All you have to do is just go live. You could go live on multiple platforms. You could add a lower third. You could add a background. You could have guests on the show just by clicking on the link, and then you could also have an intro video just like this. So I have a very special guest on the show. He is one of the most entertaining TikTokers on the app, in my opinion. He has collabed with Universal Prime Hulu. He has over 120 followers with 20.8 million likes on TikTok. Please help me welcome Joshua Chenault. How are you, man? How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you for that introduction. I really appreciate that. That really just hyped me up.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I like hyping people up, especially in the intro, because I'm not trying to make it such a boring show. Yeah, of course, we're gonna, it might get a little bit personal, if anything, it might get a little, serious at times, with some questions, not too personal, of course,
You're
you know,
good.
but it's gonna be all about movie related topics and whatnot. So I want people to get to know, you. So what is it that you do? Are you a full-time content creator, or like do you work in the media industry? What do you do?
Well, I am more full time now. COVID really just changed my whole direction. When I graduated, I moved to DC. I had a whole job with SiriusXM Radio, so I did that
Oh,
for
wow.
like 2 years. Yeah, that was a cool experience. Lived in DC for 2 years. Did that. COVID really messed it up, so I just had to leave because of that. I wasn't let go. I just had to leave because of COVID, because it was just getting expensive, like expensive with me not working as much. I had two jobs there, one at SiriusXM, and then I was working at a skincare brand. And it was just getting way too expensive for me to just keep up with the prices of DC. So I had to move back home to Ohio, and that's where I just really focused on content. So I do that. I do that pretty much full time. Yeah, so full time content creator.
So you're a full-time content creator. That's awesome. Is TikTok your main platform that you use, to expand, I guess you can say your content to everybody else, like have everybody exposed to you? Because I feel like TikTok nowadays is helping a lot of content creators, be out there in the world. So is that your main social media that you use, TikTok?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I won't say 100%, but it is the main social media I use. I'm using Instagram Reels a lot more now. I just started really using that. But before TikTok, I was doing Twitter. Twitter was my main go-to. If anyone knew me, it was because of Twitter more so than TikTok. I did like multiple viral tweets. I was posted, I was saying on Yahoo, multiple blogs I got posted in, retweeted by multiple. Michelle Obama being one of them.
Oh,
But that's where
wow.
most people knew me from, was Twitter, and then I started using TikTok a lot more. So, but Twitter and TikTok, they are like my main social medias for sure.
So what is it that you do, or what is it that you do? Did you start off as a movie reviewer, like as a blogger, or you were just posting your own opinions, or how was that?
I love entertainment. I love movies. I love TV shows, reality shows. I love everything, a little bit of everything. I was doing everything on my Twitter. That's where, like I said, I first started. I think I first started talking about TV shows. I remember when I first went viral, it was maybe for Blackish, the show, ABC show Blackish. So I was talking about Blackish. I was talking about, Scandal, multiple shows like that. I did an internship with a company, and I was covering like red carpet news, entertainment news, celebrity news. So I talk about everything, but that's how I started out, more so blogging, more entertainment, celebrity news. But then, always, it has always been Marvel for me. Marvel and comics has always been my number one thing. As you see, if you go to my Twitter now, I've had that my Spider-Man picture, which is also my profile picture for my TikTok. I've had that profile picture for at least 2 years, but it's my main thing. Comics has always been my main thing, and I use TikTok more to it. So, but yeah, I talk about everything: movies, reality TV. I talk about everything.
Yeah, and after the show, I will want you to pass. Oh, we could plug it on later on, but I want you to send me your Twitter, because I was trying to look for it today. I was trying to look for it. I searched up your YouTube channel. I see that you have a couple shorts on there. You probably have like
Mhm.
7 videos there, and then I
Yeah.
see that on your Twitter. So yeah, I definitely want to look for your Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the things that caught my attention about you is that you spread comic book news in a very, very energetic, and I love the way you do it. You make
Thank you.
one video and it's just rapid. You just put a bunch of headlines and then you just so energetic with it. You put, like a sound and then you just start dancing. Where does that come from? Where does that energy come from, man? Like, and a follow-up question would be is how where does that confidence come from? And would you, I guess, kind of like kind of shy at first before you putting on the content, like before, with dancing and everything? Like how was that? How is that?
Yeah, I was scared of TikTok at first. Like I said, I was on Twitter. That is where I got down. It was easy because I wasn't able to. I didn't want to get in front of the camera. Everyone always asks me. I have multiple friends who said, "Josh, haven't you have a YouTube? You're going viral so much on Twitter. Why don't you have a YouTube? Why don't you use TikTok?" It's just because I was just nervous to get on camera. I was just nervous. But I've always loved dance. It's like my number one. Music and dance is if like I said, if you go through my Twitter, you will see that I've posted for about Beyonce, posted about multiple singers and music, but like music and dance has always been my number one as well. So I it just came from me loving dance. It's just I wanted to create a unique. I was watching other TikTokers, comic talkers, and it was just kind of boring to me. I just didn't want to be someone who just sat in front of a camera. And I won't say boring because they do produce. I don't say I won't mean boring. They do produce great content, but I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to see how I could use music because, like I said, I love music. I wanted to see how I can use that and tell the news. And I wanted to just combine those two. So at first, I started out just posting just funny videos about all types of stuff like Disney Channel. Disney Channel was like my main thing because I love Disney Channel as
Yeah.
well back in the day. But I was talking about that early on. And then it just connected to the music. And I was like, you know what? I want to talk about what I really love, which is comics and superheroes. And so I just found a way to connect them. And that's where it comes from. It's just me loving music and dance.
Yeah, yeah, because I was like, man, like I love the energy. It's very different. But then you kind of, well, not really, because think about it like this: TikTok this started off as a platform where people
Right.
dance in front of the camera. So it's like you kind of are using the whole reason for
Exactly.
TikTok, but yeah, you're putting it in a way that interests not only people, but will also captivate the people of comic book
Hmm.
fans, and then even moviegoers as well.
And I wanted
Like
to say
trying.
real fast, just real fast,
Yeah,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. No,
But
no, no.
that
Go
is
ahead.
also a reason that I started doing the dancing thing because, like I said, TikTok was meant to make fun videos. It's not YouTube. It's not television where you're just reporting the news, like you're just straightforward reporting the news. I wanted to make fun videos, and I just wanted to dance. I was looking at some of my biggest inspirations are the dancing TikToks. Like I love Addison Rae. She's one of my favorites. Love Noah Beck. I love Charlie D'Amelio. I love all of those the original TikTokers is what I call them. But they were all dancing, and I was like, I want to be a part of that, but I also want to tell the news. So that's also where it came from. Now that you mention that,
Yeah, because I was on your Instagram page and you posted a story a while ago talking about, well, not a while ago, it was actually pretty recent. You that your top four content creators were Addison Ray and
hmm
Noah, etc. And you even mentioned that people are I'm not trying to put words on your mouth. I'm paraphrasing, of course,
yeah, I
that
remember.
people will be are surprised that they're not comic TikTokers. And
Right.
which leads me to my next question. Now that we know who are your favorite TikTokers, who are your favorite comic TikTokers, who are some of the people that you even watch that are within your field? Because I like to consider you as a comic TikToker because that's
Yeah.
what you mostly report.
Yeah.
And yeah, who are some of the TikTok creators that you watch and even see what they're doing and try to take some of their, I guess you could say, some work and apply it to yours. Like
Um,
who are some that inspire you?
some of my inspirations, I would say, I really love Straw Hat Goofy. He's a pioneer in the whole movie TikTok field. I've been a fan of his for forever. Um, Soups as well. I love Soups as well. I'm a huge fan of Soups content as well. I remember when he was one of the first, as like when the whole WandaVision was out. I was obsessed with his content. I was obsessed with his theories. I thought he was one of the best comic TikTokers. Some other people I love is Blu-ray Angel. He's a
Oh my
awesome
God,
TikToker.
yes.
He's so entertaining. He is very entertaining. Trying to think who else. There's a lot. There's a lot that I can name off. Andrew's visuals. He's awesome as well. I think he has great style. But yeah, though Straw Hat Goofy and Soups are probably oh, and Nikki Marina, I believe is her name. I think she is so funny and so talented. She is also a TikToker who uses her musical abilities and her acting abilities to tell the news and talk about comics as well. So I think she is also really entertaining. And Jay Stoops. There's a lot. Jay Stoops is also an awesome TikToker too. So yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Um, excuse me. One I remember it was like not that long ago. I was watching your content, and then I was like, I wonder how you sound. And I was like, I love the content. I love the videos of you dancing and you spreading the news, spreading headlines. Um, and then you started talking.
Yeah.
What made you make that decision? Did were you like, I know we kind of talked based on it, like you were kind of shy, but bro, you
Hmm.
have a great voice. I actually hear you, like now I like you saying that you worked for Sirius radio. I was like, oh my god, he has the voice. It explains so much. When I heard your voice, I'm like, well, why was he hiding this whole time? Like I feel like I was like, yo, like I love hearing your opinions as well, which we're gonna touch base on as well. But right now, what made you finally get out of that? Was it because of your comfort zone, or was it some other reason why you've
Well,
never
yeah,
talked?
like with SiriusXM, that is something I won't say that held me back, but it was something that they were trying to pull out of me too. I was just nervous to, well, more so with SiriusXM, I wasn't nervous to talk about the news because it's just that we were talking about politics, and that's not where
Mm,
I get down. I mean, I love, I obviously support my country. I need to know the news, but my opinion on politics is just not as heavy as some of the people I was working for. I was working for some huge DC people, and it wasn't as heavy as their opinion, so I couldn't really. I think that made me a little bit shy and a little bit nervous of the mic, but I started using
mm,
TikTok, and like I said, I had this shyness with me. But I got COVID one day. That is how I finally started talking. I did not have the energy to dance, and I was just like, you know what, I need to do it. Everyone's telling me to start talking. My friends were telling me to start talking. So I just said, you know what, let me just do it. Because I don't have the energy and I don't want to not post. So I just started talking and people liked it for some reason. They liked it. I don't think I have the best voice. That's just me being self conscious. That's me. I mean, even though I'm starting to talk now, I still don't think my voice is just amazing. But people support it and I really do appreciate you and everyone else who like hearing me talk. So thank you.
yeah, of course, because I was like, man, like I don't know why was he hiding this whole time, and I like the fact that even in some of your videos, you're getting, you're saying your own opinion on stuff. Like one that stood out to me was how you call out some, I want to say content creators. You call out majority of people who were complaining about Marvel, about how Marvel didn't have a certain direction, that they were just putting out content out there, that they weren't really focusing on the finish line, like the
Right.
way they did with phase one to phase three, of Infinity War and Endgame. And you said, hold up. It's going somewhere. It's going to Secret Wars. It's
Sure.
going somewhere. Just have to be patient. And I love that about you because you actually said, no, hold the fuck up. Hold it up.
Right.
Not
Chill.
but yeah,
No.
so like, but yeah, like how like, are you like a real big, like, was there anybody in particular that you saw? You don't need to say any names. We don't need no names or anything. Were you
Mhm.
thinking of some content? Was it content creators that you were thinking about, or was it mostly just the people who were
Oh,
commenting on your page?
well, people who are commenting on my page, being trolls, and also some content creators. There's multiple content creators I can name, but I won't name them. But there's multiple who are just, I just don't think they look for certain things that Phase One had, but they don't understand that Phase One was the beginning. Phase Four is also a beginning, and so I don't know. It was just annoying me, and me being someone who love comics, me just call this out. Let me just explain where this is going. I don't know, but yeah, it was content creators for sure who inspired those videos.
Yeah, and are you like a huge comic book reader fan, or do you do a lot of research? Because me personally, I'm gonna be honest, that's my whole name for TikTok, and even I like to go by I'm a casual because I am.
Mm,
I'm I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm a huge DC fan. Have I read some of the comic books? Yes. Have I? Do I know everything about it? No. So that's why I like interviewing people, and I like them, telling me, or even I like learning.
yeah,
That's my whole point of my channel. I like to learn. I'm not gonna pretend that I know everything. I'm not gonna pretend that I'm a huge, But are you a huge comic book? Are you comic book reader? And
yes,
yeah. So
100%.
exp-
I love
yeah,
comics. I love comics. I've been a fan. I remember when I was like when we're walking around the grocery store with our parents, nothing else to do. That's where I went to the book section, grabbed a comic book. I think one of the very first comics I got into, and this may be a surprise to people, but it was She-Hulk. I read the She-Hulk
mm,
comic, and I was like, you know what? I fell in love with I fell in love with Marvel at that moment because it was just something to like take me to a different world. And from She-Hulk, I went into Spider-Man to Black Panther to all of these different. I got into the DC comics as well, Power Rangers comics. I love them all. I got into graphic novels, love them all. And I'm someone who excelled in literature and reading in high school, and so that's why I love comics because it's just an extension of that.
are you a question I want to ask is, do you feel like you could enjoy a comic book movie if it's not comic accurate? Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like do you feel like a movie needs to be comic accurate, or it doesn't matter as long as it tells you a great story? And I like to ask this to a lot of my guests, because, or even on the radio station, I like to ask them, like, do you feel like a comic book and a comic book movie need to be accurate in order for it to be good, or it just needs to tell a great story? Like, I know it sounds repetitive, it's a repetitive
Mm,
question, but like the Joker, in my opinion, I feel like the Joker is one of my favorite movies,
mine too.
and and it's a classic in my opinion, which I feel like, not a lot of people like it because it's not comic accurate. So how do you feel like it? Yeah, just to wrap it all up in that question, do you feel like, it needs to be comic accurate?
No, I don't. I mean, I would prefer if it is, but if it's not, then totally fine. And I think there are instances where I'm okay with it not being comic accurate. I'm really okay. Majority of the time, I'm not. I'm okay with it not being comic accurate. Like there's this whole thing the with Giancarlo Esposito, like him playing. He came out and said that he wanted to play Doctor Doom. I mean, well, he's been talking to Marvel about playing Doctor Doom, and a lot of people, and I made a video about it. A lot of people gave me crap about that because he's not a Romani man. And I'm like, you know what? I understand that, and I'm okay. And I totally hear that conversation. And maybe they should get a Romani man to play it just for representation. But I would not mind seeing Giancarlo Esposito as Doctor Doom. It's just, and rightfully so, they did make a big deal about it. But I don't care if everything isn't comic accurate. I really don't care, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I had some a fellow guests, and they sometimes they agree it doesn't have to be comic accurate, but it will help. Um, what are some of the things that you think DC is doing right now, like that are good slash bad? And I know that's kind of hard to say, kind of answer that question because of what happened last week. And it
Mhm.
seemed like even before last week that DC was going on the right direction. DC was doing great. And last week happened, news broke out, Batgirl is getting canceled. Well, got canceled. Supergirl got canceled. What are some of the things do you think DC is doing right, and what are some things that DC is doing wrong? And what
Oh,
would you
well,
do to change?
man, honestly, I think what DC's doing right, that's a very hard. If I have to say what they're doing right, I guess having Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. I know that's like, no, I know that's like so simple. Johnson as Black Adam. That's what they're getting right. And having him
Yep.
have a larger role within the DC universe. That's what they're getting right. But everything else to me, it's just they're not getting anything right. Like they're just not for me. I don't see how I can't even remember when they first started building this universe. What was the first one? Maybe was it Man of Steel? I don't know. I can't even remember anymore.
Yeah, I
I
think it
think
was
it was.
It was Man of Steel. I think it was Man of Steel because I believe the Rise of the Dark Knight Rises, excuse me, the Dark Knight Rises was the last
Mhm,
Christopher Nolan film, and then they were already showing trailers for it, and I think Christopher Nolan was an executive producer for Man of Steel,
mhm.
and yeah, I think that was the start of the DCEU.
See, yeah, like whenever that was a very long time ago, a crazy amount of time ago, and like you don't even have him in the DCEU. I don't see them getting anything right when they had so many opportunities to get it right. You had Henry Cavill, who is the supreme Superman, and y'all fumbled the bag with him. Y'all really fumbled an amazing a W actor, a W character, and y'all. I don't know. I don't even know the reasoning for that. I don't even know the reasoning why they did that, but that's when they just started going downhill because Man of Steel was such a good movie, and then they followed it up, I think, with Wonder Woman, which was another great movie. Then they had the Aquaman movie, which was another great movie, and it just seemed like they were on the right track. And then all of a sudden, boom, something got messed up. I just don't know. Like, I don't know how they can fix it. The only way I think they could fix it is to bring Henry Cavill back. To bring Henry
Mm.
Cavill back, I've been trying to start a campaign for Man of Steel 2. I want Henry Cavill back in that role. I'm sorry. I know he probably doesn't want to. I just read a report he doesn't really want to. He said he was going to do it. And I mean, they reached out to him and he said no. So, I think that would save the DCEU. That would really save them. You have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, which is still a W, and she's going to be in like 7 movies, but she's not enough. She's not enough. Henry Cavill would be the GOAT. He would bring the DCEU together. I think that would be what saves them. But other
Well,
than that, I don't know. I don't
I
know what they can do.
I agree. I agree. I feel like other than two people, in my opinion, and this might be controversial. Not the first one. Not the first one. I feel like they have the right people to play the Justice League. Henry Cavill, that's Superman in my opinion. Jason Momoa, that's Aquaman.
Yep.
S- Cyborg. Who else am I missing? Um, but yeah,
You have
the two people,
Ben Affleck.
the two people. Here's where I'm going with it. I'm not a fan of Batfleck. I'm not. I mean, I like Ben Affleck. I like him as an actor. I do. I do like him as an actor. I don't like him as Batman. Ezra Miller. If it wasn't for the bullshit that they are doing, I swear to God, to me, I feel like they are perfect as the Flash. But they're just pulling so much bullshit. And that's
Hmm.
just the honest truth.
You're right.
And 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 another controversial opinion, I'm not a fan of the Snyderverse. Are you?
Yeah. Metaverse. I think it is an improvement. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think that's one of their best. That's their saving grace, in my opinion. I think
Mm,
that's their saving grace. I think they need to restore the Snyderverse because I don't know what they're doing. This whole whatever verse they have going on isn't. It's just not for me. Is it the Black Adam verse, the Shazam verse? I don't know
mm,
what Snyderverse was so much more legit and well thought out. Whatever they got going on now, I'm not a fan of it. And I agree, I'm not the biggest fan of Batfleck either. I'm not the biggest fan of his, but I would take him if that meant the DCEU was going to be cohesive and watchable again. I would
right,
take him. I wouldn't mind him. I'm not, and I'm
right.
not. I'm not. I did like him as for the Flash when in his, I believe, the Justice League or whatever movie he was in. I did like him, but he's just insane. He's not. He's mentally insane. He's a criminal. He's just not a good person. So
Right.
when they canceled the Batgirl movie, I was just like, "Are you serious? Serious? You're going to cancel this movie that has talent? Like you have all this talent. You have Leslie Grace, who was going to make a name for herself off of this. Like it was going to be a big project for her. And then you just snatch that away, and then you're still going forward with the Flash with Ezra Miller, who is a terrible human being. That just makes DC trash, in my opinion. I like their comics, and like I said, I like some of their movies, but stuff like that just it's not okay with me. It just doesn't fly.
Yeah, I made this a point a while ago. I feel like I don't know if it's still relevant now, but I feel like Warner Brothers would be fucked if they release the Flash movie, and they'll be fucked if they don't, because it's gonna
Mm,
be another Snyder cut. I
yeah.
feel like fans are gonna be upset that they're releasing the Flash because they will because of Ezra Miller's crap. But I feel like they will be upset as well if they don't release it because there's already so much hype on it. And
Hmm.
I feel like we kind of seen that with the Batgirl. There's some people who don't give a fuck about it. There's some people like, oh, it wasn't even finished. And there's some people like release the Batgirl. So I kind of, yeah, it's easier for us to say don't release the Batgirl. I mean, don't release the Flash. But yet people will be upset with it. And I feel like they dropped a lot of money already on it.
Yeah, I was not. I'm going to be honest. I didn't even report on it. I didn't even do, a dancing video or anything about it because at that moment, I really did not care. I don't. I mean, I wanted to see the movie just because, that Leslie Grace. I really did want to see her in a bigger role. Well, we knew her from In the Heights, and I wanted to see her take
Mhm.
on a superhero role, and then also Michael Keaton, and then you had Fraser, and so I did want to see those actors, but I really did not care that it was. I really did. I more so cared because I just thought it was a trash move on DC's part. That's why I cared. But I wasn't pressed to see the movie.
Mm, right. As a switching gears, as a movie lover, what are some of the movies that you know pretty much captivate you this year? Like which ones, you could say comic book movies as well, but
Mhm.
which other movies are like some of your best that you've seen this year? And
Okay,
what do
so
you look? Yeah,
no, go ahead.
no, yeah, go ahead. No, no,
Um,
I was gonna say, what are some, what are some of the things that you look for in a movie that is it the actors first or is it the directors? Like, does that come into play when you go see a movie?
Actors. I am interested sometimes in the directors. And just the story. I have to be interested in the story. One of the movies that I am a huge fan of. I need to go see it again just so I can process it a little bit more. But Nope. I love Jordan Peele
Oh
films.
yeah,
Everything he does to me is a W. And I saw Nope,
I agree.
and it makes me think. I like movies like that make me think. But Nope was my favorite film of the year. What else did I like? I liked Crawdads. Where the Crawdads Sing. That was a good movie. Um,
I haven't seen it yet.
yeah, that was a movie. It's based off a book. Reese Witherspoon. She produced it. I'm trying to think what else have I seen this year. But I don't think I've seen a lot, to be quite honest with you. What else has came out? I don't know.
Did you see Top Gun Maverick?
I have not seen Top Gun Maverick yet.
Oh
Everyone is
my
telling me I need
god.
Top Gun Maverick. That's at the top of my list to see. I have not seen it yet. I've seen Elvis though. I did like Elvis. Elvis was a great movie. I loved Austin Butler as Elvis. Really opened up my eyes more to Elvis. But I have not seen Top Gun Maverick, and that is at the top of my list right now. I'm probably just gonna wait until it comes out on streaming, but have not seen the movie yet. What did you think of it?
I believe is one of the greatest movies that came out this year. I feel like me personally, I wouldn't wait till streaming because I feel like that movie Tom Cruise did the right thing on releasing that movie at theaters. Like if it was to gone straight to streaming platforms, I feel like you won't get the same experience. I feel like Top Gun Maverick the reason the Top Gun Maverick wasn't a movie that people will be talking about this year. Well, in the beginning of the year, nobody was going to be talking about Top Gun Maverick. The movies that were being talked about was the Batman, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Nope, and then what's another one? I don't know, but Top Gun Maverick was not on
Lightyear,
that list. Which one?
Lightyear, the Pixar movie.
Oh, Lightyear too. But nobody was talking about Top Gun Maverick. In my opinion, I didn't see that much hype for it. And then when I went to go see it, I I I literally lost my crap. Like I was the only person at the movie theater. I was like 12 at night. I was getting off work and I was like, okay, I gotta go see it. And had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. So I highly, highly recommend you to go watch it. Also, did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No, I haven't seen it. I heard that's awesome too. A great multiverse movie, apparently.
It's crazy because I feel like that's a way better multiverse movie than Multiverse of Madness.
That's what
Which
I've
in my
heard.
Yeah. Yeah, Multiverse of Madness. Here's the thing about Multiverse of Madness. It kind of pissed me off because like I like the movie. But it kind of felt under my expectations, not because of the cameos, but because of the explore of the theme of multiverse. We only technically only saw three, so I was kind of disappointed. But did you like Multiverse of Madness? Because it feels like every time I watch one of your videos, I feel like you love every movie that you watch. Like I've never seen you talk one bad thing about a movie. Like
Yeah,
I was like, holy crap!
I love Multiverse of Madness. Because it was for me, it was the Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm a huge fan of the Scarlet Witch. Love of Elizabeth Olsen's version of the Scarlet Witch. So I loved it simply because I think she carried the movie 100%. I thought it was a great, and it just I really felt like it set up so much for me personally. Like I said, I love comics, and I feel like it's set up so much for the future to the end game, which is Secret Wars. I feel like it was so much set up, and I'm watching it from like as a comic reader and from that standpoint, and I loved it because of what I knew it was setting up. But I do hear that criticism a lot with me that I love every single movie that I talk about, but there are some Marvel movies that I'm not the of, like Thor: Love and Thunder. I did not really I saw it the second time, and the first time I was like, okay, it's cool. It's not as bad as people are saying. I mean, the reviews are saying. But the second time I was like, okay, maybe it could be a little bit better, But I don't like every single movie. I would say I do report. I try to be as positive as possible about these movies, but I don't like every single Marvel movie.
Mm. No, I wasn't trying to like say like you like every single Marvel movie. I was just saying
Yeah,
that
no,
that is a good thing. That it's a good thing that you're trying to be as positive as possible. I think that's the whole point. There's a lot
right.
of people. There's a lot of people on the app, and I'm not gonna say any names. We'll probably talk about it off the air. But there's a lot of TikTok creators that kind of put satire on that app. Like they just put a bunch of BS. Like I've seen people uh be highly critical on movies that I can't believe. Like for example, I've seen this one TikTok creator. He compared um the Dark Knight with the film Fantastic Four, saying that the Fantastic Four movie was better than the Dark Knight. And it's just I couldn't believe it. And I was like, okay. And you're one of the reasons that's one of the reasons why I like watching your content because you're so positive, you're so energetic. And I like that
Appreciate it.
about you. Yeah, and w- going back to Secret Wars, how did you know that that was the direction they want to go with? You saying that with Wanda, like you knew right away that was the direction they want to go with. I
Mhm.
couldn't see it, so educate me on that. How did you know that was the direction they were going with, or was it because of
Well,
the post credit scenes?
more so, I saw it back when Loki released. When Loki released and the whole concept of multiverse came up, I was like,
Mhm.
multiverse? What? What? If there is an end game for this new phase, this new era of Marvel, it's going to be Secret Wars since they're name dropping multiverse. So I saw it back then. I mean, I kind of thought in my brain, okay, so Secret Wars is what they're going to do. And then they did the What If show, and then they showed all these different versions, different universes. I was like, okay, Secret Wars is definitely what they're doing. And then they hit us with Multiverse of Madness. And then they mentioned incursions, which is such a big thing to the story of Secret Wars. Incursions is when two fight and both of the universes are destroyed unless one of the universes figure out how to defeat the other one. So I knew it immediately when they said incursions, and then Clea came back in the post credit scene said you caused an incursion. I just knew it. I just knew at that moment that we were getting Secret Wars.
Do you feel like that's the? Do you feel like Secret Wars is going to be bigger than any other Marvel movie? Everything. I mean, everything we're talking about financial. We're talking about promotion, star power. Do you feel like Secret Wars is going to be better than that? Because a lot of people have make the argument that and the MCU has peaked. That it's not going to get anything better than Infinity War and Endgame. Do you believe that, or do you feel like there's still much more to come? And even beyond Secret Wars, do you feel like it could get better?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I heard that argument too, and I hear and I understand some of it. Like I understand where they're coming from sometimes, but I do think we're going to get so much better than just Infinity War. That's just one comic and that was the comic that came out. I want to say in like the 70s. Secret Wars came out. There's two versions of Secret Wars that came out in the 2000s. So I and it just keep building up from there. Like, and that was a huge event. I think we're just going to get better, bigger and better. Secret Wars is just the beginning of that. I think the next era of Marvel is going to be more of a galactic era. We're going to see Galactus. We're going to see so many big name characters that we have been pining for. We haven't had an on-screen version of Galactus yet. That's what I'm ready for. That, like, one thing that I don't like is how people trash the Eternals. Like, people really trash the Eternals. They said that it wasn't good. That
I'm not sorry to cut you off, but I don't trash on the Eternals. But I am very highly critical on that movie. It's not that it's bad, it's just not one of my favorites. I'm not rushing back to go watch it.
Mhm.
I've only seen it once, but maybe I'll watch it again and maybe I'll catch something. But yeah, like I know you weren't talking about me, but I'm just saying I'm one of those people. I gotta include one. I have to be one of those people. I am an internal hater in that aspect.
That's funny. I don't know why. Like, Eternals is. I thought it was one of the best projects Marvel has ever put out. It was one of the
Wow.
best, in my opinion, that they've ever put out. I'm a bigger fan of the space, the galactic stuff, like the everything up in the air. I don't know. It's just, and it really brought me to a comic book. Those movies, like Multiverse of Madness as well, Eternals, it really just brought me to What If, that amazing series. It just really brings me to comics. And I think, I don't know, it's just, I think there's so much they haven't touched on. Getting a director like Chloe Zhao to direct that, she made it a masterpiece in my opinion. It was so big in scale. And I hope she does Secret Wars. Personally, I hope she is the director of Secret Wars, because I know she's going to make it huge. It's going to be a spectacle. Because even with War, they were great movies. They were amazing movies. And Infinity War is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I feel like they could be much bigger. That Marvel can get so much bigger than that. And I feel like Eternals showed that. I feel like Eternals was a huge movie in scale, bigger than a movie like Endgame, in my opinion. They did so much with, the world. I don't know. It just was such a visual masterpiece, way more visually stunning than Endgame was.
That's true. That's 100% true. When it comes to the visuals, it is good. I feel like for me, the problem was that I know this might sound kind of weird. I don't know. It's just the way I feel. I feel like with the internals, it was kind of hard for me to connect with the characters because there were so many,
Mhm.
and I feel like I'm like, okay, people will make the argument, well, Infinity War has so many characters, so I'm like, okay, but the thing is that we kind of like know those characters from previous movies. I feel like with the internals, they're just, for me personally, as a casual, this is a brand new this is like a brand new set. Like, I feel like, I just couldn't really get in touch with them. I could care less. Um like at least with Guardians of the Galaxy, those were a lot of characters that
Mhm.
introduced to me, and I don't know, I just love the story, I love the humor, I love everything, the soundtrack. And I don't know, maybe because it was different because of the Eternals, but I do see what you're saying. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I feel like I just couldn't connect with the characters. Maybe if I watch it again, maybe I'll grow another opinion on it. Maybe that's
Yeah,
why. Maybe that's the reason why people hate on it so much, because there were so many characters. But that's just, I don't know.
yeah, that's the criticism I see. It was a lot of it. There was a lot of characters, and I don't think, and I like how you mentioned the Guardians and the Avengers. It's just those characters are more relatable. I would say those are more
Mm,
relatable characters in those movies, and the Eternals aren't that relatable. They don't have that many relatable characters, and but I don't know. I liked it, but they do relate to some people. Some people will get it, and some people just don't. Like, some people get it, some people don't. I guess that's what it is with the Eternals.
right, right. Do you feel like Marvel's putting too much content? Do you feel like they're putting too much content? Do you feel um like a lot of people have been complaining as well about the visuals and all that stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of people already trashing She-Hulk, saying that it's the graphics are, I don't know, not
Not
not good, and there's too much humor, and they're even worried that Daredevil might even be too much comedy, like he'll be too much, he'll fall under being kind of corny in some aspects, because they're Charlie Cox, and Matt Murdock, um you know from the Netflix series. He was all dark, serious. It was like rated, for mature audiences, and a
Right.
lot of people are kind of nervous for his presentation on She-Hulk. So, do you feel like Marvel's not really, you know, putting that much thought when they're putting out these projects,
See,
or
I
what do you
think
think?
I think Marvel always put thoughts in their projects. That's just what I think. I think they put a lot of thought in their projects. But I mean, this is a criticism I do have. I do think they are pushing out a lot of content. I do think they are. Maybe they should in this next phase, they should, take it back just a little bit. However, me being a Marvel fan, I don't mind that they're putting out too much content, but I do see why it would not have a greater impact for the original MCU fans. Like I do see why it would not have a greater impact because they're just nonstop putting it out. But I don't mind it. I love Marvel. I love knowing that I have something to watch on television 2 months from now. Because if I'm being quite honest, Marvel it runs my life. I mean, I won't say it runs my life, but it runs my viewing options. I don't know. It's everything Marvel. When She-Hulk, thing that number one thing that I will wake up at 3 a.m. to watch. I don't know. I don't mind all of the content, but I do think they're putting out a little bit too much sometimes.
Hmm. What is it about She-Hulk that you could connect to? Because you said that that was the first comic book that you read, and that was the first comic book character that you loved. And
Yeah.
I've seen, like, even now you're having a smile when you're saying, "Hey, I'm gonna watch it at 3 in the morning." What is it about that character that you could connect to? Like, was it what, or even just love about it? Because obviously she's like, she breaks the fourth wall a lot, and it kind of feels like you as a fan, she's talking to you.
hmm
So how did you connect with that, with She-Hulk?
What you just said, I love how she breaks the fourth wall. That's one of my favorite things about She-Hulk. I cannot wait to see that on screen and how they make that work. I'm just ready for it. It's going to remind me of Creation, which I was a huge fan of, or The Office, also a big fan of. But I love powerful women. It's just what I just love women who are just bad. I don't know. I just love powerful women. And that is what well, I was. I don't know how old I was when I picked up that comic. I know I was young, maybe 7 or 8 years old, very young. But it was just when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? I want to read this comic with this green girl who's in this awesome dress. I don't know. I love powerful women. That's what I connected to. I just and that's every day. I love Beyonce. She's one of my favorite artists. I love Rihanna. She's one of my favorite artists. I love Angelina Jolie. She's one of my favorite actresses. I just love powerful women, and that's what I'm excited to see with She-Hulk. She's going to be, and that's why I love the Scarlet Witch as well. I don't know. I love powerful women.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, and I love how you're so passionate about that. Like, you're just like, no, you know what, it's I love the powerful woman. I love all this, and I feel like, I don't know if you noticed this, but there's a lot of people who are like, they sometimes feel like woman representation isn't, you know, quote unquote, like the the great thing to do, like when to talk about. For example, a lot of people criticize the MCU for that one woman representation scene on Endgame. When all
Mhm.
those girls came. Did you feel like the MCU is doing a good job representing women now,
Um,
or
yeah, now that
do you feel like there could still be more work to be done? Like, it could improve even more.
I think they're doing an awesome job. I really do think with the how that one scene in Endgame, it changed everything for the MCU. I really thought I did because I before then I didn't see a lot of women representation. It was you had the Black Widow, you had Gamora and Nebula from Guardians, but it was very sparse. But now it's everyone. You have Captain Marvel pioneering stuff. You have Wanda, who, in my personal opinion, and I think the opinion of a lot of people, she carried phase four in its entirety. She put it on her back. So that is what I mean. I don't know. I think they're doing a great job now, and I can't wait to see where they go next with representation in the MCU because I think they're just going to cover all bases. That people love women, then they're going to do a lot more for representation of all people going forward, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, and I feel like that's great. I noticed that as well. I feel like, because here's the thing, that scene in Endgame, to me, it didn't felt, I guess you can say, organic. It felt forced upon.
Hmm.
If if that makes any sense. It just felt
Yeah,
like they just needed to add that scene for like, hey, women representation. And then it felt genuine to me. Now it does. Like have you seen The Boys, the show The Boys?
I have not watched The Boys.
Okay, so they
But tell me about.
represent they represent women real good there. Like they show strong women, and they show that they don't take shit from these powerful men. These like there's this character named Homelander, and he's such a piece of crap. Just think about that character being like the everything that's he's like has the powers of Superman, but he's just a piece of crap, and everybody's terrified of him. But yet you have these strong women there who they're like, nah, fuck that, we're not taking your crap. And I don't want to spoil too much. I honestly, I encourage you to
I'm gonna
watch that show
I'm gonna watch
because
it.
yeah, it's funny because I literally just finished it a couple weeks ago. I've never seen the show. Everybody that I talk to, off the air, they're like, "Hey, have you seen The Boys? Hey, have you seen The Boys?" I'm like, "I have not. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. They're like, watch The Boys." And I swear to God, if you watch it, I feel like you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, and especially since you're such a big fan of women representation towards the end. Don't get me wrong. There's some kind of shit that they go a little bit overboard, but I feel like if you're talking about powerful women, I feel like the Boys is doing a good job in that aspect.
I'm
And I
gonna check
feel
it out.
like, yeah, check it out. Definitely check it out. And I'm really excited for She-Hulk. Now let's move on to more other projects. Are you any other MCU projects that you're excited for that has been announced?
Oh, I am so excited for Quantumania. It is at the top of my list right now. Well, I won't say at the top because I'm excited about Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever and Quantumania are two that I am just cannot wait for. Those two, um, House of Harkness, I was not that excited at first, but I'm excited now because they said that there's going to be a lot of funny women in that show joining Catherine Hahn, like Amy Poehler. So I'm excited about that one for that reason alone. Another one that I'm excited about, there's so many. I'm excited for Spider-Man freshman year. I just want to see how they do that. Um, there's so many. The Avengers Kang Dynasty. That's going to be incredible. Uh,
Do you feel like that, speaking of Avengers Kang Dynasty, do you feel like them putting Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars together so closely, do you feel like that's a bad thing? Or do you feel like they should
um,
I don't feel like that. I personally don't think that's gonna stay the same. I feel like one of them is gonna get pushed back.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think there's two different stories. Everyone thinks they're going to have this huge connection, and I don't think so at all. I think they're just two different stories. That's why they are so close together. So
Mm.
yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing at all because I think they did it on purpose. Because they know like people are going to want more than one Avengers film, and they're going to know like putting two back to back like that, they're going to come out in droves to see them. So I'm excited to see both of them, like both Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty. Those are like I just wish it was 2025, 25, right? 2025 already. So far
Yeah,
away.
I was. Yeah. Oh, so and the thing is that a lot of people are like, oh well, it's not 10 years. It's not 10 years, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's still three. I want to
It,
see. I want to see those two big projects, and it's just one movie that I feel like is gonna take everyone's gonna be talking about is Wakanda Forever this year. I
mm-mm,
feel like that's gonna be competition as the greatest comic book movie this year, as the best comic book movie this year. Because if that trailer to me was absolutely beautiful. It looked like that trailer alone, just that trailer alone, put it in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, because
this,
the soundtrack, the visuals, it looked like a way better Avatar movie than the Avatar movie.
mm-hmm.
Like it's just so good, and I feel like this is gonna go down as a masterpiece. It could arguably be bigger than the first Black Panther. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it will be. I mean, because people are going to want to see how they handle just the future of the Black Panther. That's what it comes down to. And I've only seen the trailer like twice because I just don't want to wear it out yet. I just don't want to wear it out until we get our new trailer. I'm just going to chill on it. But I've seen it twice, and both times I got complete body chills. I promise you, I swear, I got chills like just talking about it right now. Like it's just that soundtrack when goes from the No Woman No Cry, and then it goes into Kendrick Lamar's "We're gonna be all right." It's just I have to do something with that sound on TikTok. I can't wait to be able to really use it. But oh man, it's gonna be one of the best movies of I think of all time. To be quite honest
I
with you.
think so too. I think so too. And
Yeah,
that's not even an overstatement. That's I
yeah.
honestly think it's an understatement because you know, like because the production of that movie was a mess. It was everywhere. There was a lot of COVID, and then of course Chadwick Boseman, of course God rest his soul,
Hmm.
and a lot of obstacles came with that movie being done. And I feel like it's gonna show the hard work and effort that crew has made for making this film. And I
Hmm.
feel like it's gonna go down as a masterpiece. And
Sure.
there's a lot of people debating whether or not who's gonna hold the mantle of the Black Panther. And if you do a lot of digging, there's some
We.
people saying that we know. So, are you happy with that decision?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. Don't get me wrong. I am 100% for it. However, I would like to see. I don't know. And I know it's out of respect. So I respect what Kevin Feige does by not recasting T'Challa. But I would like to see T'Challa in the MCU again. Like he is so important to the story of Secret Wars. If you want to be quite honest, he is part of the Illuminati. So I would like to see that. He was the first one who saw an incursion. The incursion when it happened. I know that's not important, but I don't know. He was part of the reason that the Illuminati formed. So I would like to see T'Challa in the MCU, especially where they're going. But I'm happy with the choice of Shuri becoming the Black Panther. So I'm
Yeah,
happy with it.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you, I don't know if you wanted me to
I'm
say it, but
No, no, I don't. I don't care. I don't care. I mean,
yeah,
people, spoilers, spoilers, spoil. No, I'm just.
right.
I mean, it's all
Spoiler
good. It's all
alert.
good.
Sorry.
Spoiler alert. No, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like that movie. You just told me so much. I didn't even know that about T'Challa. Who do you feel like will be the right actor though?
Oh man,
And how
I
do
have
you think they would
to-
do it?
the right actor. Man, I had it. It's the guy from he. What's his name? It's right on Trevante Rhodes. I think Trevante Rhodes would be the best. A top tier actor. He played in Moonlight, not Moonlight, Moonlight.
Oh, yeah, yes, 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 yes. I know exactly who. Yup, yup, yup,
So
yup.
I
That's a
think he would be a great actor for the role. I know they would not do it, and I know it's to honor and respect Chadwick, but I would like to see T'Challa at the MCU for these stories now. Like the Namor rivalry, they're bringing Namor into the MCU, like in Wakanda Forever. And T'Challa go at it because they went at it during the whole Secret Wars saga, the whole build up to Secret Wars, the whole big finale. They went at it. They were at each other's necks, but they were on the same team. They were trying to stop the crash of the multiverse. So I wanted to see that, but and I think honestly, before Chadwick's passing, that's where they were going with it. I believe it was always a plan to bring Namor in. But unfortunately, Chadwick passed away, so they weren't able to do that story. But that's what I wanted to see so bad. That's one of the things I've been looking forward to since they announced that they were doing the Black Panther, like period. I wanted to see him and
mm,
Namor go at it.
damn. Damn, man.
Yeah,
You're showing me so much, man. You're very knowledgeable when it comes to these comic book stuff,
yeah.
man. Yeah,
You
like
would have loved to see it as well. Like Namor versus T'Challa, it was a nasty rivalry. I promise you. So many lives lost, so many Atlanteans' lives lost, Wakandans' lives lost. Crazy, crazy stuff right now.
damn, damn, man. But such a tragic, right? Such a
Yeah, and they're
damn
like
tragic.
saying like, and I'm not mad at it. I'm honestly not mad at their decisions or whatever. But they're saying that Namor, they're completely changing the character of Namor. Apparently, he's not going to be in Atlantis. He's going to be in I cannot remember the name. Talakan. That's where he's going to. They're going to base him. He's going to be in Talakan now and not Atlantis. So and then on top of that, he has this great respect for T'Challa. So they're changing his character. So
Mm.
I wonder what they're going to do with that because he hated T'Challa in the comics.
Man, we should wait and see. We should wait and see. And because like I've seen a lot of there's a lot of leaks going around of Black Panther, and I don't want to see it. I just know that Sherry was gonna end up taking the mantle, and I read about that as well with Namor. I'm just happy that uh Denecho Huerta is playing
Hmm.
Namor. Me being a Latino, seeing a fellow Mexicano just, playing that part, it kind of touched, represent. I mean, even you as well, as a person of color, we could, probably that's the reason why, Black Panther, well, that is the reason why Black Panther was so big, because a lot of representation, a lot of people could connect to those characters. And I feel like Wakanda Forever, I feel like it's not only gonna reach so many people of multicultures, it's gonna be, respected as well by so many people because of that reason. And I feel like Wakanda Forever, it's gonna open the eyes of younger, Latinos
Hmm.
and people of color. And I feel like that's a beautiful thing to see. And I cannot
100%.
wait for it. Yeah.
100% agree with everything you just said. I cannot wait to see the representation from all sides. I'm so happy they're shining a light on Latino culture. So I just can't wait. Like, and apparently that was the reason for the change from Talakan to Atlantis to Talakan, because they wanted to represent the culture, Latino culture, and I'm all for it. I cannot wait to see how they handle it.
Yeah, same. Well, listen, man, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. I mean, I'm honestly, you are so knowledgeable. You're one of my favorites to watch. Like, I swear to God, like just bringing, the energy, the positivity that you put on your videos every single time. I know it seems like you only post once a day or sometimes twice. I honestly, I was like, man, I wish you could post more. And I
Yeah.
honestly feel like, bro, I feel like you should do a podcast or, do a YouTube channel. I will honestly, I like hearing your voice, like you just being so knowledgeable with everything. Your positivity, it brightens my day. I swear to God. And hopefully, you just keep on going. What are some of your hold on before we even end this? What are some of your goals that you want to do with with this? Like, do you have an end goal? Do you have a goal with this? Like, do you want to go to movie reviews? I mean, movie reviews. Do you want to go to movie premieres? Do you want to collaborate with other fellow content creators? Do you want to become a YouTube creator or anything like that? What's your main goal?
I want to just, like you said, go to movie premieres, but I want to, interview the stars, because I love talking to I just love movies and entertainment, and I want to be an interviewer. I want to be a journalist. I want to be a movie entertainment journalist and just talk to them more about it, and just talk to the directors and see their mindset and the actors' mindset. It's just that's what I want to do. I want to do entertainment news journalism, and I'm open to collaborations with everyone, whoever wants to collaborate with me. I would love to collaborate. Yeah, but I really just want to talk about it more now that I'm using my voice more. I was so scared to do it before. I really was. I just didn't think I have a good voice. I'm still getting over that fear, but I want to talk about it more. I'm in heading into this new phase of Marvel. I'm going to be talking about it more. So, and I really
Yeah,
appreciate your. I really do appreciate that. That truly makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time. Because
yeah.
sometimes I do feel like I'm wasting my. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't feel like I can do this today. But I really appreciate you saying that you're a fan of my content. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, and hopefully we could do this again. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully later on in the future, when you go into those movie reviews, I mean movie premieres, you can still still have chance for me, to interview you, man, because
Yeah,
it
for
was a
sure. No,
pleasure.
yeah, it was one of. This has been so fun for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, thank you everybody for listening to the Movie Allah podcast. If you guys want to see this on YouTube, you could go to the Movie Allah channel. You could search it up on Facebook, the Movie Allah. I will be posting snippets on TikTok as well, and then you could also hear it on Spotify. Joshua, you want to go ahead and plug in your social media content and your
Yeah,
social
for
media
sure.
platforms?
So follow me on TikTok at Joshua Chenault. And also follow me on Twitter at Joshua Chenault one, the number one, and follow me on Instagram at Joshua Chenault.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it was a pleasure, and I hope everyone stays safe and keep on watching. Later, everyone.